Hello and welcome to Climate Check with me, Mary Mwiikisa. Now, President Hakainde Hichilema last week, Friday, 20th of February 2026, addressed the nation on the progress made in application of national values and principles. And in that speech, he also spoke about sustainable development. What does it mean? What should you and I do to ensure that we achieve the tenets of sustainable development? I will be looking at that on the program today. My name is Mary Mwiikisa. Thank you so much for joining us. For now, let's take a break. Now imagine if trees could provide Wi-Fi, just how many trees you would plant? Well, they provide oxygen. We definitely cannot do without it. Destruction of nature such as forests has led to irreversible climatic changes to our world. Join me as I talk to policy formulators, change makers and climate change interest groups on Climate Check, weekly on this channel. Now you are the solution to climate change. Welcome back to Climate Check. For now, we go straight into the clip where the president spoke about sustainable development in his speech that was made when he announced the progress made in the application of national values and principles. Take a look.
We have positioned our country on a green growth trajectory. In the past 4 years, we have scaled up climate change adaptation, Madam Speaker, and mitigation efforts. We've upgraded all climate monitoring stations across the country, and we've enhanced national early warning systems. Vice President, thank you. Disaster management is able to come on board whenever we have a problem quickly. And our men and women in uniform are now working together to help remedy. A bridge is gone, Commander-in-Chief issues an instruction, they run and get bridges done. That's what society must be. We all do our part. Through these efforts, we are strengthening resilience in agriculture and other sectors, directly protecting our farmers and their families and national food security. Madam Speaker, deforestation remains a major challenge in our country. Our administration has therefore been promoting natural regeneration and tree planting programs, as well as the use of alternative sources of energy. I must admit, Madam Speaker, we still have a lot of work to do here. Alternative energy. When we say to our people, no charcoal burning, the next question is that what will be their source of energy? I think we need to work on that together. Our scientists, please, let's use the skills we have to find alternative energy. But also, let's benchmark which country is doing this better. That's the core. That's the core. We are all promoting, we should all be promoting sustainable utilization and protection of natural resources, such as the wildlife. We need our children to know what a buffalo is 50 years from now, and they can see it. Kudu, all of that. Bats, Kasanka, I'm sure those colleagues from there know what I'm talking about. And so these endowments can bring us a lot of money through tourism. See what countries with less endowments than us are doing and bringing in tourism. We need to do more together. Our rivers are important. Our wetlands are important. Very, very important. A source of livelihoods. Furthermore, the number of hectares of forest, Madam Speaker, forest land placed under community care and management has more than doubled, from 4.1 million hectares in 2022 to 10.4 million in 2025. And involving communities is the way to go, so that the communities can provide the protection and the support. Madam Speaker, we call upon our traditional leaders and civic leaders, the church, civil society, and our communities overall to work with the government, their government. Madam Speaker, there are times people are here, people say, this government, that government. It's your government. You elected it. It's your government. Anyone who wants to aspire to lead this country, you must know, when you are in this chair, you care for everybody because you are a product of society. You're elected by society. So let us work together in this way. And no corner of the country should say we are different. There's no one different here. We are the same. Interests are the same. Permanent interests of the nation are the same. Individual interests can shift, but permanent national interests are the same. They can only be better. So, Madam Speaker, the Keep Zambia Clean, Green and Health campaign remains key in driving behavioral change and promoting public health. We urge our citizens and all our public and private institutions to prioritize cleaning, just cleaning your house, your environment, painting your house, your plant, your factory, just get it painted. Clean, drainage around there. And if we all do that in our spaces, the nation will be cleaner.
And those are some of the issues raised by the head of state around sustainable development. And reacting to that, in studio, I'm joined by Mr. Vuyo Mapango, who is project manager for strengthening respect for environmental rights in Zambia under HIVOS. Thank you so much for making time, Vuyo.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
How's the project going?
The project is making significant milestones, and we are happy so far with what we are accomplishing as HIVOS.
Okay. So the president addressed the nation on the progress made in the application of national values and principles. And one of the national values is sustainable development. And he spoke about that and various aspects. Let's focus on some of the key issues that the president highlighted.
Thank you so much. What is critical to understand is that I'll touch a few issues. He talked about the critical challenge we've been facing in terms of deforestation. I think that was really important for him to cite. And in the context of climate change, we are seeing the pull factor being cities that are demanding that charcoal.
Yes.
If you go in any outskirts, you're seeing huge trucks coming in demanding charcoal, and that is having a significant toll on our forest. He also touched, mainly focusing on the environmental sector, he touches the issue of mining. Yeah, I like that aspect. And what he underscores is that we have made significant strides in terms of investment in the mining sector, a lot of regulatory enforcements that are trying to come aboard. But one thing that he cited is that these significant strides in investment towards mining have also come with their downsides. Yeah, for example, we are having the challenges that we've been having in terms of tailings dam collapse.
Yes.
Both on the copper belt, we are seeing challenges also in the northern circuit. We are seeing tailings dam collapsing, but also general oversight towards as regards mining has not been as strong as would be anticipated with the desire to increase our production. As we review the aspect of mining-related development and vis-a-vis environmental protection, it's important that we look at it in the context of our high target, the 3 million metric tons target of increasing production to that degree by 2031. So whatever we are discussing, let's look at it in that light, because that's a key government priority. You see a lot of developments in that sector, a lot of recently there was this Indaba, the Africa Mining Indaba in Zambia stands out as a champion and an investment destination, attracting many companies. But that also has a need for us to prepare as a country, putting on a seatbelt to prepare for such investment.
And really, even as we target to reach the 3 million metric tons by 2031, one wonders what the plan in place is around environmental protection and sustainable mining that the president referred to in his speech. As civil society, how best do you think this should be rolled out?
Firstly, people say is
actually before you even recommend, why should we have a plan around environmental protection as a mining country?
Thank you for that question. As I was saying, people say that if you have a problem, and then you do not know that you have a problem, that's a big problem.
Yeah.
But one thing which is clear is His Excellency underscores that this investment has come with its own challenges. I think that's a very starting point of finding a solution, that we have had significant challenges. And I'm proud to say that as a country, certain mechanisms that we have seen government halting companies to stop production, those are kind of important steps. But then we need to look at this thing in reverse before we have these challenges come up, before we have people being displaced from communities, before we have waters being polluted and evacuations are needed. We need to put up mechanisms, the repellent mechanisms. Side by side with these plans, the 3 million metric tons target, for example, and making Zambia more of an attractive destination, we need to put oversight mechanisms. And what is ordinary practice generally is the environment, social and governance standards. These provide environmental accountability, social accountability, as well as governance accountability. So that even when mining is happening, when as a country you uphold these standards, that makes you an attractive destination. For example, if every season we have rain, Zambia is recording tailings that are collapsing in this area, that makes Zambian copper unattractive on the global market. But then to earn a reputation of being both a high producer of copper, good copper, high standard copper that is having trickle-down effects on the ground with no social implications such as careless displacement, standards need to be put in place. And to reinforce that, we are hoping as civil society to see, for example, what has been done through the Minerals Regulations Commission, that as this commission is being rolled out, we hope to see governmental, different governmental institutions should be speaking to each other. ZEMA in relation with the Ministry of Green Economy, Ministry of Mines, and then we have a consolidated push towards ensuring that the ESGs are followed and social environmental accountability is upheld. That is one way in which we believe these things can be safeguarded.
You have been on the ground through your project. You've been to places like Serenje, Sinazongwe, Copper Belt, and you understand some of these issues regarding unsustainable mining practices and how this affects communities, affects vulnerable people. Maybe you could bring us up to speed with some of the experiences in the field so that we appreciate what we're discussing.
Thank you. One classical example that I always cite is the Serenje scenario. We are looking at a case of about the Minister of Labour then, Brenda Tambatamba, highlighted that Safao, that is one company that is prominent in Central Province manganese processing, not a mine, but it's a processing facility, had its workers exposed to manganese contamination, about 271. That is there in Parliament was announced.
Yes.
So we had the privilege as a consortium. He was the Zambia Institute of Environmental Management and the Center for Environment Justice to visit. We took an entourage of 14 members of Parliament. That's not a small number. We traveled with these members of Parliament on the ground. And there we see a case of about 28 people that have exhibited symptoms of manganism or Parkinson's kind of disease.
Wow.
So this is a situation that could have been avoided if there was strong oversight on mining and related regulation. So we see that that's a challenge, and we are glad that the National Assembly supported us. We went there with members of Parliament under the Zambia Parliamentary Caucus on Climate Change and the Environment, and were able to visit firsthand. Classically, as civil society, we have written reports, we have done policy briefs, done documentaries, but this on-site visit gave parliamentarians, policymakers, first-hand information of what is happening if we do not provide the safeguards. You see that a young person who could jump, run about, can no longer work.
Do that.
This is an effect of unregulated development. Yeah. So if we provide oversight, as the President, His Excellency, is stating, we hope with this high target of 3 million metric tons to kind of curtail some of these problems that we are seeing. Still in the ground, on the field, I take you to Sinazongwe. We are seeing that there's one case in which the ground is cracking due to coal mining. Yeah, this has been there for some time, and the communities with which we are working there have reported this, and we are emphasizing the need that there is no need for the state to bear the cost of private sector investment. That's why the government established the Environmental Protection Fund. This helps the state mitigate its self-spending when the polluter must have paid, which is the mining entity. So there are a lot of interventions that are being done by different NGOs, different civil society, but to stress everything, we must ensure that the cost of mining today, the cost of development today, the cost of job creation today does not have a downturn on future generations. What will the next generations of Zambians inherit if everything is degraded today?
Exactly. Now, as civil society organizations, how are you engaging, or how often, what aggression level do you have in constant engagement with the public sector, with the government, to ensure that you are on the same page? There's buy-in, there's understanding beyond pronouncements that if we actually don't do something about this, this is what is going to happen. We are ready to help you achieve this.
Yeah, that is well placed. You know, the thing is, firstly, as civil society, we only exist because of the blessing of the state. I've said that many times. Yes. So we are not at loggerheads with the state. We provide the oversight. There are certain times, due to politics or due to diplomacy, the state cannot engage in certain discussions. Yeah, diplomatically, every person must understand that. But then it's us as civil society to step in and raise the voice that government should have raised, and reinforce what should have been reinforced. So, for example, as a project, we've been the Strengthening Respect for Environmental Rights project, supported by the European Union and co-funded by HIVOS. We've been pushing the establishment of an environmental court. Yeah. Last week, that was Wednesday 18th, Honorable Sunday Chanda, if I'm not mistaken, brought in a very important motion that really made us hopeful in civil society.
That was very interesting.
Yes, to say that we need the establishment of an environmental court. Yeah, with a high target of what we are having. For example, the 3 million metric tons. That's not a small target. For numbers' sake, you should know that that's increasing our current production by 275%. That's more than triple, more than double, you know. So with that, we need to anticipate that there will be a lot of disputes, there will be displacement associated with that. We envisage pollution. But then what mechanism are we putting in place? This comes in the need for an environmental court. So this ties then with what the President was saying, that we need to put regulatory frameworks to support this growth. This growth will come at a cost, but we need not to be taken by surprise. We need mechanism put in place. Why are failings dam failing, for example? Why is the Environmental Protection Fund not being well regulated if, for example, it's not well regulated? How much funds or how much oversight is being given on legacy kind of mining? What happens when a mine closes? The Kabwe scenario, we are being called one of the most polluted towns on the planet. That's a very big allegation. What mechanisms are we putting in place that some of those things do not happen? The need can never be emphasized for an environmental related court to provide swift action when an environmental challenge happens. This also provides an opportunity for training of legal practitioners on environmental law and related oversight. An environmental lawyer or an environmental judge would be a technocrat, in instance, on environmental related issues. So It's well placed.
Those are some of the gaps that you envisage with the coming of the environmental court.
Exactly.
Having the qualified people to run with it.
The qualified, specialized people to handle such matters.
Okay. Yeah. How best then can we implement some of these issues that the president spoke about? What do you recommend, and how best can we still develop sustainably as a country, but at the same time we take care of the most important resource that we have, the environment?
We are standing at a very beautiful juncture. The increase in critical raw materials demand, the green energy transition, everyone is running or rushing to the African continent. Yeah, and we are well placed. Why? Because we have a good governance mechanism. It's a peaceful country. And I think it's a privilege that we develop a mechanism to extract these minerals sustainably. Yeah. As an economist, you are going to understand that the curve of mineral development plummets with time. Minerals are a wasting resource, a diminishing resource. Then with this rush for green energy, we need to take advantage to invest in diversifying these gains for future generations. When these mines must close, when these mines must be left, we need to reinforce the Environmental Protection Fund. We need to invest in green energy in agriculture. Kudos to the development of the solar energy plants. Yes. But we need more push even in the agricultural sector. But over and beyond, we understand that value is not in the tons extracted. Value is in the jobs that are created along the value chain. You do not want to be only a raw material exporter, but you need to create value, because value is in the creation of the cables, is in creation of the panels, in the creation of the batteries. Yeah. So it is this. If once we develop ourselves as a technological power in the context of the copper value chain, we have that privilege in Africa. I think the second. Yeah. So it's a privilege and a great opportunity that we must not miss to develop other sectors, because this sector is definitely booming.
Vuyo, thank you so much for making time to be on Climate Check and for sharing with us from a civil society perspective what you're doing about what we're talking about, and also what you would like to see and the very important recommendations.
Pleasure.
All right.
Thank you so much.
We've been speaking to Mr. Vuyo Mampango, who is a project manager for the Strengthening Respect for Environmental Rights project in Zambia and HIVOS. And of course, this is Climate Check. Join me on the other side. We take a short break. Now imagine if trees could provide Wi-Fi, just how many trees you would plant? Well, they provide oxygen. We definitely cannot do without it. Destruction of nature, such as forests, has led to irreversible climatic changes to our world. Join me as I talk to policy formulators, change makers, and climate change interest groups on Climate Check, weekly on this channel. Now you are the solution to climate change. We have come to the end of the program for this week. Join me next week, same time, same channel. Remember to do your part in protecting the environment. My name is Mary Mwiikisa. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.